Warehouses where hazardous chemicals are stored are subject to OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard, or HCS. Under an HCS program, there should be one person designated to oversee the implementation of OSHA hazardous chemicals standards. Under HCS, there needs to be a list of all hazardous chemicals present in the warehouse, and all shipped containers should be labeled accordingly. Safety data sheets for hazardous chemicals must be included with all containers and readily accessible to any worker who's handling those materials. Employees working directly with hazardous chemicals should be trained thoroughly before they begin, or anytime a new chemical is introduced to their workstation or facility. Appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, like eye protection, aprons, and gloves should be provided. There are specific guidelines related to the storing of chemicals in larger quantities, like those found in refrigerated warehouses or that are flammable. OSHA's Process Safety Management Program Standard, or PSM, guides handling these specific types of hazardous chemicals. Following the PSM helps prevent leaks, explosions, fires, chemical reactions, and other major incidents. Part of PSM requirements include that toxicity, exposure limits, reactivity, physical characteristics, corrosivity data, and the hazards of accidentally mixing chemicals be included on the safety data sheets. It's important to make sure that all chemicals are stored in the proper containers at the right temperature and away from any incompatible chemicals. Warehouses and distribution centers that process, blend, store, and package chemicals need to manage the process safely to prevent injuries and accidents. As with all other hazardous chemicals, they need to be stored safely. Tank systems should be inspected frequently, and there needs to be a secondary containment option in case of a spill or leak. All flammable chemicals must be stored in a building that's outfitted with the proper fire suppression system, extinguishers, and other fire safety equipment and protocol in place and understood by workers. Hazardous chemicals should always be stored away from forklift traffic areas. If a spill occurs, the area needs to be blocked off, and trained workers must clean it up quickly using appropriate PPE, which includes gloves, foot protection, respiratory protection, eye protection, and if needed, full body suits. Emergency response protocols should be employed if the spill's larger than can be handled by the on-site workers.